Before the 20th century, many European powers were concerned over growing tensions. These tensions eventually escalated into the Great War.
It's time for World War One.
World War I was a war filled with hard and gruesome battles, but one battle in particular, the Battle of Lutsk, was one of the most important battles along the Eastern Front.
The battle was fought between Russia and Austria-Hungary. It began on June 4th, 1916, and ended 2 days later on June 6th of 1916.
Austria-Hungary was defending the town of Lutsk, which they had just occupied during a different offensive called Black and Yellow.
Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
The Battle of Lutsk came to life after the French city of Verdun came under siege by Germany in February 1916. France begged a Russian ally to go on the offensive in other areas to focus attention from Germany outside of Verdun.
One particular aristocrat-turned-general that answered this call for help was Alexei Brusilov. He was able to convince his superiors to attack the Austrians at the city of Lutsk.
Brusilov's main objective for the battle was to draw troops away from Verdun, while the Austrians' objective was to just defend the city while losing as few troops as possible. Brusilov was met with doubt from his fellow generals. However, he exceeded his expectations by bombarding the Austrians with over 2,000 guns along a 200-mile front.
Going into the battle, the Austrians had quite the advantage. Led by General Joseph Ferdinand, the Austrian army headed into the battle with 200,000 soldiers, compared to only 150,000 Russian soldiers.
The battle was very short, lasting only 2 days. However, within those 2 days, the Russians were able to take control of Lutsk, killing 130,000 Austrians in the process. They then were able to drive the remaining Austrians out of the city.
The Battle of Lutsk had aspects of all-encompassing war. For example, the Russians captured as many as 400,000 people as prisoners during the battle. Another aspect of total war in the Battle of Lutsk was the severity towards the Austrians. As stated earlier, Russia killed 130,000 Austrian soldiers out of the 200,000 that entered the battle. This loss of men was so severe to Austria that they lost around 40,250 miles of land, forcing them into trench warfare. They were weakened so much that they left Germany out to dry for the final years of the war, where they were taken down by the Allied powers.
The Battle of Lutsk forced the Germans to pull back from Verdun, and in particular practically ended Joseph Ferdinand's career. The battle caused a chain reaction of movements of troops from the German and Austrian side. The Austrians were forced to end an offensive against Italy, moving the troops in Italy towards the Eastern Front. On June 15, 1916, the Austrian General Konrad von Hotzendorf told German General Erwin von Falkenhayn that he was facing a huge crisis.
Along with Falkenhayn, many Germans took this crisis that Austria was facing by surprise, as they had predicted an easy victory against the Allied powers. This proved to be wrong, however, because the Russians were able to undergo total mobilization and suppress the Germans from the Eastern Front.
Russia was pushing through the Austro-Hungarian lines. This battle started a win streak of offensives for Russia known as the Brusilov Offensive, named after Russian General Alexei Brusilov.
This even caught the attention of the man who started this, Alexei Brusilov. He released a statement on the Brusilov offensive saying this:
If there remain any Germans still hopeful for their cause, let them realize that today, when Central Powers have lost initiative and are finding difficulty in refilling their ranks, Russia has not yet reached zenith of her power, which will only be approached next year, when she will have largest and best army since beginning of war. Units confronting us represented maximum effort of Germany. They were moved about along Russian front, chiefly to southward, in order to fill gaps left by fleeing Austrians.
This statement shows that Alexei Brusilov wanted what every other Russian wanted, to get back to their former glory before the disastrous loss against Japan. Brusilov was very nationalistic during the war, and so were many other Russians after the total mobilization. Thank you for watching and listening to our video on the Battle of Lutsk.
Eat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up. Reese's Puffs, Reese's Puffs. Eat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up. Wow. I got Reese's Puffs in my bowl. Wow. Nowadays on cruise control. Wow. I got Reese's Puffs in my bowl. Wow. And just like that, I'm on a roll. Reese's Puffs, Reese's Puffs. Peanut butter chocolate flavor. Reese's Puffs, Reese's Puffs. In the AM, it's the flavor I savor. Peanut butter and chocolate too. You know how I do, that's what I wake up to. My Reese's Puffs inspire